What you got the on for?
Well, I know it's racing. I thought it was horse racing, but it's boat racing. Where's the bookmakers?
There is no bookies, Paul.
Oh,
Same thing. Come on to the FX there.
Feeling all right, mate?
I knew I shouldn't have had those oysters.
Yeah, well, oysters, really. That's what it was it? Yeah. But you're not getting your excuses in for Monday, are you?
Why was happening Monday?
Yeah, really? What's happening Monday?
Yeah, what's happening Monday morning? But what a fabulous day yesterday at Henley. Sunshine, Pims, and you didn't lose any money because there was no bookies.
Well, to be honest, Dan, I am more of a lager man myself, and unfortunately, there was night racing at Newbury and Kempton.
Oh, when the fun stops, Paul.
Yeah, when the fun stops, Dan.
So, Paul, it's been a good week for sterling. Decent gains against both the euro and the US dollar.
Yeah, it has. The pound's up around 1.5 cents against the dollar, about 3/4 cent against the euro.
And what's behind these moves?
Well, the dollar's lost some of its recent lustre. The ceasefire's kind of holding. That's to say there hasn't been a major escalation. And yesterday's job data, the non-farm payroll report, was softer. And this week's inflation data out the Eurozone came in lower than expected.
Yeah, non-farm was much lower, around half of what was expected, but sterling also been getting help from central bankers.
But it certainly found demand on Wednesday afternoon after panellists spoke at the European Central Bank Forum in Sintra.
And Lagarde, Bailey and new Fed head Wash spoke at the panel. What have they been saying?
Well, Lagarde and other policymakers from the ECB have more or less taken a rate hike off the table this month, and officials see the decline in energy prices as a better scenario than they were anticipating.
And the new Fed chair Wash, were his comments somewhat dovish?
Well, he did say that inflation risks have eased over the past month, so yeah, slightly dovish.
But he reiterated the Fed is not likely to give false guidance to suggest when or if a rate hike is coming at their future meetings.
Yeah, that's right.
And Andrew Bailey said the Bank of England is not in a position to cut rates.
Well, yeah, he did, but that's obvious, really. And markets still believe there's a 70% chance that they're going to hike by the end of the year.
And I see Kia has left his mate Andy Burnham a nice leaving present.
Yeah, he announced his long-delayed defence investment plan of 298 billion, of which 15 billion is currently unfunded and will be partly funded by the 10 billion of efficiency savings. So around 5 billion will have to be allocated at the next budget and 1.8 billion in the next financial year.
And it appears Burnham was blindsided by this, and one of his allies likened it to an unexploded bomb.
Yeah, apparently Burnham was not told about the funding gap when he was briefed on the plan.
Seems a bit fishy that Starmer delayed the announcement of the plan by more than a year, only to announce it a week after he resigned, and this after Burnham announced his 10-year vision for the UK.
Yeah, well, I don't think he had to announce it before he goes, and he has been accused of leaving the mess for Burnham to sort out.
And any news on the new Chancellor?
No, Burnham said on Thursday he hasn't decided yet.
But polymarket's odds for the new Chancellor have flipped.
Yeah, as we said in last week's update, West Streeton was the favourite after he backed Burnham. But over the past week, money's been pouring in for Ed Miliband, and he's now seen as favourite.
Markets are not going to like a Miliband appointment, are they?
Well, prior to Burnham's crowning, markets feared a Miliband appointment, and it'll be interesting to see how they react if he gets the job.
So that wraps up this week so far. What's in store for next week?
Well, we'll know by between 3 and 3:30 on Monday morning what kind of week we're going to have, won't we, Andy?
Yes, we will.
But going back to the calendar, we've got Euro retail sales along the UK and US PMIs on Monday, Fed minutes on Wednesday, German inflation Friday, and
Come on, England!
I told you I was going to take your race on Monday. I didn't think it was going to end up like this.
Boat racing.
No, not next time.
No good for me, mate. Boat racing.
Horse racing next time, yeah?
Well, you can lose money, Andy.
Yeah. To the FX desk.